brighter than light. He'll give you strife. He's Todd. He's tall, he's mean. He's labeling machine. He's Todd. Rides a motorbike. He'll tell you what it's like. He's Todd. Don't know what he'll say. He'll scare the kids away. He's Todd. He's Todd.
Hey, happy Thursday. Thanks again, Dan. I'm still waiting on my rocked out version of the intro song, but, one of these days. So I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And we've got a special, I wouldn't call him special. Well, he is special. We'll bring him on later. This is actually going to be my last broadcast at this location. And so I've actually rented a larger studio. We're getting so big. My head is getting so big, I can't make it through that door anymore. So we are actually going to relocate to Vista, California. And for those that don't know the translation, the Spanish translation of Vista, it means a hell of a lot better than Ramona. I looked it up. Look it up yourself. So anyway, next episode, it's going to be a great studio, man cave, if you will. I'm going to have it decked out in all of my, my hobbies, my motorcycles and golf and scrapbooking and needlepoint and all the stuff that I enjoy doing. So make sure you tune in for that. I think you're going to enjoy the new studio. So we are on episode, God, I don't know. It's been a long time, 34, 35. And look, I always show this. So this, again, a year and a half, maybe, something like that. But you can see we got the flag in there. We got the cable wrap in there. I'm telling you, tough-ass labels. So we breeze through these things at the speed of light. We've covered a lot to do with labeling, and we're always getting questions. And so we thought, you know what? Let's do, actually, Kate and Kelly thought of this. Let's do an Ask Todd Anything. And it really is kind of anything. Not anything. No, I know a lot. And I can certainly give you an answer to everything. If you do start asking questions in the chat area, I ask that you keep it clean, please. As much as I'd like to fire off, the dirty answers and joke around like that, I value my job. So let's try and keep it clean out there. And then we've had some folks send in some questions ahead of time. I have not seen these questions. So this is going to be shoot from the hip, off the cuff. And, so we may go a little bit over the half an hour. If you got time, stick around. This whole show should be extremely entertaining. But without further ado, let's bring our special needs guest in, Jamie Brookover. Kate, can you flip his? Hi, Jamie. There he is. Hi, Jamie.
How you doing today? How's the weather in California? Here in Virginia Beach, it's a nice 72 and sunny.
No. We've got the May, gray, June gloom going, so I'm not heading down to the beach today. So,
well, let me tell you, Todd, we sent the email out to a lot of people. I got a lot of questions here for you. I almost feel like I'm going to be interviewing you, which is going to be entertaining, and a lot of business questions, technical questions. And we're going to really see how smart you are on some of these questions. So are you ready, or you got something else? Are you ready to go?
You know what? Yeah, but bring it on. Let's go. Let's see what this is all about.
I'm actually going to ask you the first question from Mick. When we were on this before, now, you got a reverse tan going on your head. Your head is tan from here up. Are you using like a tan bronzer, or what's going on there? We all want to know. What's the color of the skin up there?
All right, so I'll be completely transparent. I did shave the noggin this morning, and it essentially turned out as white as anyway, it was really bad. So, yes, the answer is yes. Next question.
Okay. A good question, though, is somebody asked, they want to hear about our new flag labels, the FLE version. What are they and what's the best place to use them?
Okay, so I showed this earlier. Here's your traditional flag. All right. I am no fan of flags, and you got to be careful how you say that. A flag label, for the most part, is very tedious to put together. Both sides have to match up exactly. If not, then it looks like hell, and you're exposing some adhesive, and it takes a lot of time. I personally have no patience whatsoever for flags. So I've shown this, Jamie, in previous episodes, all right, and you can kind of see the new flag. Now, this flag goes both ways, and again, be careful with that. But you can go horizontal and you can go vertical. And the cool thing about this is that it works on our PTE 800. It works on our PTP 900 series. It is a die cut label, which means it prints off to a specific mark that's on the tape, and then it'll cut that. So you can't use this inside of the other printers that we have. But the cool thing about this is a two-piece system. So this little piece right here that you can see on the bottom, actually right there, is one piece. And you fold that over the cable, and then the other piece, which is this guy or this guy, you kind of wrap it around there, and it's so much easier to use versus a traditional flag. All right, so I'm kind of excited about this. You can pick it up at just about any distributor. It's an authorized brother distributor. So again, I'm actually very pleased because it takes a hell of a lot less time to put on, and it's very clean and not as cumbersome as this one. So that's question.
Great data center applications, I assume, where there's a lot of cables coming in one spot. So
yeah,
that's good. So to go back to somebody just asked the question here from Denver, Colorado. Have you ever had a full head of hair?
Yeah. Believe it or not, I did. I actually had hair halfway down my back when I was fronting my band. I used to be the lead singer of a rock and roll band, believe it or not. So I did. I was accused of having a mullet at one time. I actually lost a bet to my older brother, Sam, while we lived in Texas, and had to cut my hair and never grew back. So if anybody, if I need to back up my BS, I got plenty of pictures with me with hair, but thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that.
We'll believe it. Hey, it came from Denver, Colorado, I'm saying. So, so here we are. We have somebody, looks like St. Louis, Missouri has asked this question. What resources do you have available to help learn how to use all the features on the products? What overall resources do we provide to educate people on the product and technical resources?
So one of the things that I find with labeling, and especially with our competitors, is that the competitors come in, they sell them a package, and then they just kind of disappear and they go off into the sunset. So one of the things that has made our team successful, as you know, Jamie, is our attention to detail on training, on support. And so there's a couple of different avenues. First and foremost, we've done a bunch of videos. Those are available on brothermobilesolutions.com. Obviously, you can go back and watch BS with Todd. That's available. And then I'm actually available. So a lot of what I do, and Jamie, you know this because you're always lobbing stuff over the fence, is, I help customers one-on-one develop labels, do custom labels, do hands-on training. What I want is I want people, because I'm a former contractor with no patience. I've already talked about that. And the last thing I want to do is fiddle around with labeling. So we're trying to make your job out there as easy as possible. So please check out brothermobilesolutions.com. We have a bunch of videos there. We have a bunch of videos on YouTube. Reach out to me or anyone on the team later on towards the end of the show. We'll give everyone's contact information. But again, we want to make this arduous task of labeling quite easy. So there's your answer.
Before I get to the next question, I just want you to know that somebody pointed out that HR is watching. They always watch.
Hi.
Some guy named Sam Morse put down the younger brother, just so you know, not older brother. So we'll We'll get the ref in on that one later to find out about that one, okay?
He's
But,
on the wrong road.
you know, you made a point earlier about your hair. So the question is, you go from a rock and roll band to a contractor. So somebody asked the question is, going from rock and roll band to contractor, how does one find themselves working in the sticker labeling business? How does that happen? I mean, rock and roll. I mean, you explain that.
Well, I've done a lot of things, Jamie, and you know, the record deal fell through, number one. And so I actually went from slinging asphalt and concrete for the city of Carlsbad, California, and my older brother Sam started a little company in Azle, Texas, and pulling cable, and I didn't know a damn thing about it. So we went from being a contractor for X amount of years. I worked in distribution, so I've seen how that side of the business works. I've been a manufacturer's rep, so I've seen that side of the business. And I got involved with labeling, one of the least favorite things still to this day I like doing, a long time ago. So I've been schlepping stickers for 18, 20 years now. So next question.
Rock and roll to sticker label salesman. I love it. So here's somebody, Washington, D.C. area. In extreme cold weather environment, what temperature are your labels rated to?
Really high and really low. Next question. No. So,
well, we're still talking about labels there.
Oh, okay. So the laminated labels, one of the things it does for you, and you know, not only is it waterproof and oil-proof and gas-proof and that, it will withstand extreme temperatures. So we're very popular, not only in Arizona, but in Alaska, believe it or not, very popular. So we have heat ranges up to 215 degrees. Give or take a few, and then 80 below zero, I believe it is, right? I think I'm close to that. So anyway, there's an extreme difference in temperatures. And then before you look at that, Jamie, next question.
Oh, okay, sorry. So that kind of goes in. That kind of goes into the next question of which tape in the Brother lineup is most durable.
Well, you know what? It's not really a matter of durability because, again, anything with a lamination, and we do have some tapes that are non-laminated. Our TZEN 201 super narrow tape is not laminated. And that really sets the difference between us and our competitors is that as a laminated tape, and you guys saw, I did a video or a BS with Todd on all the stuff that, you know, I put water on it and I scrubbed it with all sorts of stuff and Gooby Gun and gasoline and stuff like that. As long as it's laminated, it's going to withstand all those outside influences that come in. Now, we do have different tapes as far as what to adhere to, and this is very important. So keep in mind when you're using curved surfaces, cable, conduit, you have to use a TZEFX, all right? That is meant specifically for cable wraps, flags, and round surfaces. We have a tape for smooth, flat surfaces that you cannot use on cable wraps, all right? We also have a extra strength tape, and that is good for, it's actually got a softer adhesive, so it's good for anything porous, a cinder block wall, if you will, all right, or anything powder coated. So to answer that question, go back, as long as it's laminated, it's going to withstand everything that I put these labels through ahead of this.
Okay. So I just got a question from Wisconsin. You think they'd be asking about the cold weather, but from Wisconsin, if two trains are at 120 miles apart and are traveling towards each other at a constant rate of 30 miles per hour and 40 miles per hour, respectively, how far apart will they be 1 hour before they meet? Okay. Yeah. You know what, Todd?
No, you know what? No, they'll be an hour apart before they meet. That's the answer.
Good point. Good answer. Yeah. Next question on that one. That was a tough one. So
horrible at math. Ask my boss Craig. Horrible with math.
Yeah, I've seen some quotes you've done and some things you've done. Yeah, it was not very good at math. I've seen that before. So the idea is to make money. I don't know if you saw that when you got hired. The goal is to make money. So, but which printers will allow me to print QR codes? And this is actually from a manufacturer in Florida. Would like to know which ones can do QR codes.
Okay, so the QR code itself is not embedded inside the machines. All right, we have machines that have barcodes that are embedded. QR is currently not in there. So there's a couple of different things you can do. All right, you can utilize the P-Touch editor software to use with our PTE 500, PTE 550W, PTE 800, PTP 900 series. And you can embed those barcodes into those printers off of our software. And you can actually connect a database with that barcode. It's probably easier to just print directly from the software itself, but there is another option. The other option is we have an app called iPrint and Label, and it has very simplistic barcodes on there in any of our machines that are Wi-Fi enabled, which is going to be the PTE 550, the PTE 800, and the PTP 900 series has the capabilities that you can print simplistic QR codes. But I would highly suggest to utilize our software and do one of two things: print directly from the software or embed that QR code inside the machine and tie that to a database that you can also put inside the machine as well.
It's a very good point, and that goes back to your thing where the resources we have. Anybody out there, Todd, any of us can help you understand how to put a QR code through the database. So that's just something to think of there. So one more serious one, because I've got one that I've actually had a few people ask about. So I think we're going to need extra minutes. So I'm going to go back to this one. Where would you use and what are the tamper-evident labels for?
Well, on things you don't want to be tampered with, Jamie. I mean, that's. Okay.
Your name's BS with Todd, not Captain Obvious. Do you have an example where somebody might use one? I mean,
so tamper-evident tape is this stuff here, all right, and it's very clearly defined by the green wrapper. All right. So tamper-evident tape would be something that, it's tough. Well, there you can see it. But as you lift the tape itself, it leaves a checkerboard pattern. All right. And then you can't stick that label back down. So let's hypothetically say that you've got some type of custom cabinet that you put together that anytime it's opened by somebody other than a authorized service tech, if you will, if that label has been tampered with, it could void the warranty, right? So things like any assets, really, Jamie, as far as laptops or servers or stuff like that, it just gives some indication that somebody was monkeying in an area that they shouldn't be. So again, the tamper-evident tape is defined by its green label.
Okay, good stuff there. So Ian really put this question out, but I think a few people have asked the question. You've talked about some cooking that you like to do and everything. And so people would like to know, what's the secret behind your baby back ribs and the sauce and the rubs and everything you do? Is there a secret, especially with these baby back ribs, that you would like to share on this episode?
God, mustard. I'm telling you, it sounds disgusting, but and I learned this from a very good dear friend of mine named Myron Mixon, who's been in the industry for a couple of years. And so mustard, if you put it on, it actually dissipates. So it'll seal in that sauce that you may have put on previously. If you want to put it on the bear ribs themselves, it's actually like vinegar. Vinegar eventually, over the course of time, will give it a little wang, right? But the mustard itself will actually dissipate. So mustard, and there's plenty of videos out there on the mustard, but it does make a huge difference. I sure wish my older brother Sam would take me up on this, for his barbecuing. But nonetheless, that's a secret, Ian. So there you go.
That's mustard was your answer on that?
Mustard.
I think the secret is you actually take credit for it and you let your wife cook it, don't you?
No.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty good at that stuff. But anyway, next question.
All right, from North Carolina. Considering Bixby standards, do brother printers offer a serialization function or a function that helps speed up the process in the Bixby standards of getting your labels done?
No, 606C, it is a standard. I don't know if serialization would come into play there. It's all based upon ANSI TIA 606C, which is a certain cadence of the way you should label, so that way it makes it easier to identify where it's coming from, going to, so forth and whatnot. But the serialization, as an example, here's a great example. So this is actually a printer that I used out in the field. It's 20 years old. All right. And so the way we used to do things where we'd go A01 space, 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 A02 space, 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 A03 space, space, space. You're always wrong. All right. In the amount of tape used. And sometimes if you got these big old claws like this, you happen to hit a couple of keys at the same time, you fat finger stuff. So the best thing about serialization is that you can enter your first ID, could be A01-01. You tell our machines, and the serialization really starts at the PTE 300. You go to the PTE 500, the 550. We have it on the PTE 800. And what that does is you tell the machine how many identifiers you're putting in, or how many cable wraps, or how many ports, and it basically builds a job for you. But yes, based upon always 606C standards.
This one just came in. Might be a little on edge because it's a little political, but being in California, Todd, are you considering running for governor with all the news that we're hearing out right now? Are you going to consider running for governor of California?
I really don't think I have a chance against Caitlin. I'm sorry, but
I think that was a simple yes or no. I mean, even considering doing politics is scary.
I'm just too busy with this, Jamie, and I'm having a good time. Why would I set myself up for failure? So anyway, next question. That's
a good point. So there's another interesting one that just came in. This is actually from a friend in Georgia. They said, it's a friend of yours, but they won't give the name. Do you have a license to practice law in Guatemala? Asking for a friend. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know.
You know what? Truth be told, because we're all transparent here, Jamie, I lost that license in Guatemala, but I'm still licensed for Panama. Anyway, next question.
Okay, that's good. So what sets Brothers' lamination process apart from the competing labels?
Well, a lot of our competing labels don't do it. I mean, obviously, there's self-laminating labels that primarily come on sheets. We do have a cartridge solution, though, for self-laminating. And it's the lamination process is a very old, archaic Cro-Magnon way of labeling. And really, they developed it so that way for inkjet printers. So you print on a little white printable area followed by a clear tail that wrap around that, so that way it wouldn't scratch or smear or blah, 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 blah. So all of our tapes are laminated, and a lot of our competitors aren't, which means that the ones that aren't are going to be open to scratching, scuffing, water, fading, so forth and whatnot. But what we do is we actually print on the underside of the laminate in the cassette system, and then it lays on top of the substrate. So it is a very unique way of doing it. And the whole idea behind that is to protect that identifier, to protect that tape. So Brother has a very unique way of doing it.
This is a two-part question that's about to come out. Interesting one. Were you ever a professional wrestler with the WWE or WWF? You kind of have that look to you. It's a yes or no.
No.
Okay. But then I'm going to ask the second question. If you were, how many second graders do you think you could fight off before you became overwhelmed? Those are legit questions that have come in. You don't move very well after 2 knee replacements, so I think it's like 10.
I'll get back to you on that one, Jamie.
All righty, perfect. Which Brother handheld printers can be used with the P-Touch editor software? And you know what? I'm going to add these two questions together. Which printers can be used with P-Touch editor? And can all of the functionality of that printer be used directly, or do you need software? Like, explain what the software, potentially a few things the software can do.
Listen, can you keep it to one question at a time?
No. What printers can use?
All right. So let me try and address the first question. So the handheld printers that can be used with the P-Touch editor are the PTE 500 and the PTE 550W. But I'm going to go one step further. The PTE 800W can also be used with the P-Touch editor software, as well as our desktops, the PTP 900. So the only two handhelds, again, are going to be the PTE 500 and the PTE 550. Oh, I'm forgetting about the 750 too. This guy right here. I keep forgetting about this little guy. This can also be used either with the software or with the apps. Now, regarding the software and the functionality, right? Was that the question? The functionality? All right. So,
yeah, the functionality between the printer and the software.
Well, you know what? Again, the handheld printers are meant for, basically job site labeling. And the answer is no, they do not have all the functionality as the software, right? The software is going to help you design labels. The software is going to give you the ability to link up the QR codes with the databases inside here. So again, if you have a large project, I would highly suggest starting off with the P-Touch editor software. And then we can do several things with this. We can dump a database in here. We can dump different QR codes. If you want to design, let's say, a service tag. Service tags are big out there. Design it on the P-Touch editor, and then either keep it on the machine to print on the fly, or you can actually put it on your phone, connect your phone to this. But there is more functionality inside the software. There still is a lot right here inside the machine. But if you have any questions on that, reach out to the team.
So we're starting to run out of time. So I got 2 final questions for you here. It's almost 1:30. This came in. I think it's might be from a Brother employee. The way the world is today, there's wars going on. There's diseases. Everything is happening. If you could get world peace and world hunger and solve all these diseases that are going on by firing one person on your team, tell us why it would be Bruce. Wait a minute. I probably shouldn't have written. That was definitely, I object. I'm rejecting that question, and we're going to go to the next one.
So real quick, and you know what, Jamie, one last question. We're probably going to go over by 5 minutes, but who cares? Who cares?
Okay.
Next question.
So, yeah, we better not answer that one. So, somebody wants to know, what has been your favorite part of BS with Todd?
Me. I've been my favorite subject. I'm my biggest fan, Jamie, and I like to hear myself talk. And and what a perfect venue for me to do so. But in all seriousness, no, it's spreading the brother word. It's spreading, good cheer. It's having a good time. It's talking about labeling. It's talking about nonsensical stuff. It's making up words on the fly. It's a compilation of everything. I enjoy the hell out of this. My guests that I've had on, they're fantastic people. They become friends of mine. So it's a way that I've made more friends. And so it's just been fantastic.
Well, I'm going to tell you not to swell your head anymore for this new studio you're going into, but I'll tell you your entertainment also during it has been, I think, a lot of reason people also watch. It's not serious all the time. It's got to be just business, but it is business with you. So I will tell you, now you're probably not going to be able to get back out of that room because your head swelled a little bit more. So, all right, since we got a few minutes, I'll ask another one. The temperature guy's back asking questions. He would like to know the temperature at which water would boil at 9,000 feet with an ambient temperature of 64 degrees with 15% humidity with a 6 mile an hour crosswind.
Let me get back to you on that, Jamie.
Yeah.
I'm close. Yeah. No, I'm close. So, I do see one up on the screen here. Why no 15 millimeter tape?
Yes.
You know what, to be quite honest with you, it's probably, hi Chuck, it's probably because there's not a lot of call for it within the industry. Everything is pretty much, quarter inch, 3/8, half inch, 3/4. We use millimeters because we're just a little shy of all that. But again, there's really no call for it. There was something else about colors and different colors of tape and wanting more colors. Again, it's based upon supply and demand. And if we don't get a call for these different types of colors, even though our competitors may have it, and I get that all the time, there's just not a lot of call that we get for it. And to develop these machines and to pump all this stuff out is incredibly expensive. And so that's really the reason why in some cases we can't just do things on the fly. But if you have any questions on, sizes or I do have some suggestions on that based upon the fact when I was a contractor, reach out to me and I'll answer anything you got.
This just came in also, and I think it has to do with the motorcycle. Helmet or no helmet?
Helmet. Look at the curve of my head. And that's not natural. That actually came from hitting a curb and it never healed right. So you got to wear a helmet.
Is the curb okay?
Yeah, curb's fine. Oh, the curb.
Okay, good.
Oh. Anyway, yeah, a helmet. I got to do it. Arizona, Colorado, no helmet states. I did that for a while, but you could tell, by it's just, wear a helmet out there. So
I'm going to end it with this question, Todd, is if I'm your customer and you're doing a sales pitch to me, what's the number one reason that I should use Brother Labels over the competitor?
The number one reason?
Besides you cannot be the answer. Give me the top 3 reasons I should use Brother Labels.
Number one, it's less expensive. I'm telling you, those who haven't done cost comparisons out there, please do that. The easiest way for me to sell Brother out in the field is to ask, do you know what that labeling's cost you? 99% of the time, the answer is no. So I enlighten them, and they're always shocked at the amount of money they're spending on labeling. Number 2, mistakes in labeling. How do we eradicate mistakes in labeling? And Brother has several different ways you can do that because time is money as well. And then, the durability of the tape. You don't want to go back to the job site. You don't want to replace labels that have fallen off or have scratched off or have faded. So again, based upon what I've been showing for the past year and a half, use a label and be one and done. That's the bottom line. So there's your top 3 reasons. Number 4 would be me.
Good answers. Hey, Todd, I got to tell you, this was the questions coming in, the ones we got before. It's been entertaining. I think everybody really likes the BS with Todd. Chuck just told us there is no competition with the BS. So maybe we don't have competition. We have people that try to do what we do. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. This is entertaining. Maybe we'll do another one because I got to tell you, question after question. I probably got another 100 here I can ask you. So maybe a month or two from now, maybe 3 months, we'll try to do another one. How's that?
All right. It's always fun, Jamie. Look forward to not seeing you again anytime soon, but thanks for coming on board. So, Kate, would you roll? We're a couple minutes over. Kate's back there. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, everybody in the background. June 3rd, TBD. The reason why it's TBD is because I had something really, really special lined up, and it didn't happen. All right, so we're going to put something in its place. Stay tuned. It's always going to be a good show. On June 17th, Labeling Nightmares. I'm enlisting everybody out there. Come up with some nightmares for me. Chuck and Blake and all you guys, maybe it'd be good to have you guys on board again. I've got a whole bunch of my own Labeling Nightmare stories when I was a contractor. And so that should be a good episode, and we can all learn from that. Number one, to avoid ahead of time those labeling nightmares, but then also fixing those nightmares as well. So stay tuned for that. As far as contacting the team, Kate, could you show that one? So I'm Todd Morse. I'm on the West Coast, hailing out of gloomy California today. We got Mr. Jamie Brook over in Virginia Beach. We got Mr. Dan Cobb out in Wisconsin. We've got Mr. Bruce Page in, really doesn't matter, but we've got Mr. Rob Dawkins out of North Carolina. Craig Robinson, our glorious leader, hails out of Bradenton, Florida. With that being said, I want to thank everybody. We're 6 minutes overdue. Everybody that asked questions, again, if I didn't get to them, I didn't see a whole lot. I think I answered most of them. If you have any other questions, todd.morse@brother.com. Email me any questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But again, have a very blessed rest of the week, and I'll see you on June 3rd. So take care, y'all. Bye.